Hello and welcome back to the channel for a sort of mid-February, late February team update. Not long now, 18 days until round one, and about less than 2 weeks until the actual real stuff kicks off. Super excited. Footy can't come quick enough, and no doubt this is going to be one of the more controversial team updates you'll ever see, and you can come at me later on in this one. That's for damn sure, but I've done a lot of thinking about the side and I'm pretty happy with it. Not much has really changed in addition to the last team update. However, this side looked completely different yesterday, but I sort of took a really good look at myself and thought, look, mate, calm down. It's only practice matches. It's only match simulation. I think people getting too sucked in too early, and yeah, I don't want Tanner Bruin, Sam Flander vibes of last year. That's for damn sure because yeah, we all know what happened there. So I'm going to sort of just back my guns, stick to my structure and how the side's been going. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Back six, pretty stock standard, I think. No James Sicily. Blank's gone down for what looks like the rest of the season. Really unfortunate for him, but just carnage in that Hawthorn defence. That's why we got Phillips here. He should get games, no doubt about that. 102k, yes please. But Sicily's going to be more accountable. But I still think he's going to be a top six defender. It's a funny one, so you could back him in. I don't have a problem with it, but you're paying absolute max for him. I think you can get him a little bit cheaper. I reckon low 600s is probably where he's going to float around. Anywhere from 600 620k. I think that's where he's going to be priced. So I'm just going to wait patiently for him, and I just see so much more value. Like Tom Stewart, I think he's someone who's just going to explode this year. He's just got the best role in SuperCoach. He's made for it. Playing St Kilda at home at GMHBA. We all know what third tall defenders do against St Kilda. Look at Sicily's 2 games last year. Absolutely unbelievable. So I've got a VC on Stewart. Bit of a pod move, that one. We'll see how that goes. But I love Tommy Stewart. He won't go anywhere. Like Sheasel, a lot of value here. Absolutely got so much junk of it the other day. Speaking about not getting sucked into players with their practice match as well. What am I doing here? But look, Harry Sheasel, as long as he's playing off halfback, I think he's going to be the man. Had 42 disposals against Collingwood and just looked phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy to back in the Shees. I think his ownership's gone up to about 30% now when it was about 15 maybe a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, he's someone that people are really starting to pay a little bit more respect to, myself included. I did have Dan Houston in my team as well. I really want him. I love Dan Houston. If you want to go there, I would. It just doesn't work with my structure. I don't want 4 defenders to start in my side because there will be some DPP and other lines to cover for that one. But Dan Houston, I just love him as a pick. I think he's going to be such a good pod. Averaged 114 at Adelaide Oval last year, all of last year. He plays his first 4 out of 6 games there. So if you want to pick him, he's the only one here that I really wish I did have. I could have him if I wanted to. There's no reason I couldn't go Sarong down to like some rookie Field Huswaite and then put Houston. That's on the cards as well. But look, I'm just going to stick to my structure and just see what happens. But I like this back 6. I think all pretty generic selections. Hayden Young, yeah, he's a good one as well. It hasn't left my side. I don't know how well he played yesterday, but I did watch a little bit of the game. And I know the CBAs were up, and that's the main thing. I think there's just a lot of value. 525k, I can totally see him pushing 600 and being a top 6 defender, if not top 8, which I'd still be happy with for that price. So that one there's fine. Zach Williams is another one that I've actually thought of fading out for Butterick. If hypothetically, I could go Sarong down to Jack Steele. That's another sort of option as well. I really liked Jack Steele. I thought he played a great game against the Bombers. Absolutely got carved up, the Dons. Not very good, but for Supercoach and Jack Steele's sake, he looks like he's back to his best. So he's someone that could definitely feature in my team. But I have Tom Green, who has a bye early. So he's got North and West Coast and then a bye essentially. So he might be someone to look to go down to Jack Steele if Jack Steele is the pick that we think he is. Other than that, there are other options like Dunkley, and there was Welsh, but obviously that back is just giving him all sorts of grief. So I don't think we can possibly go there. But I do have a couple of strategies. I did think about selecting Butterick over Williams. So Williams has his bye, so you missed that one. So you got Butterick, and then when Butterick has his bye the week after, you trade him out and then go to Williams. Thought about doing that as well, but look, there's just a little bit of speculation. I just don't quite have the money to do so. And Zach Williams is fine, I guess, so that's all good. I do worry about having Gibcus and Caulfield on field. I think Caulfield's a good one. Gibcus a little bit more accountable. I'm worried about that. And then, yeah, Pink and Phillips on the bench. No Reid. I like Reid as a player. I think he's going to be great for the Dons, but a very accountable as well defender. A bit like Gibcus. I think Gibcus might have a little bit of a higher ceiling, but I think Zach Reid will probably average like 50, 55. But he'll do a lot of the team things, and have great job security. But for SuperCoach, I do worry about that from a Dons point of view. So he's someone that I've decided to sort of fade for the time being. The midfield has not changed. It has a lot, but I've come back to my old ways. So yeah, Bonampally, Butters, LDU, Sarong, Green. I've locked these guys in for now. This is what my side has looked like a lot of the pre-season. There's been times where I've got rid of Sarong for Parrish, who I really like as a pod. He only went under 90, I think, once or twice last year when he did play. So he's ultra consistent. I love him as a pick. Jack Steele as well, who we just spoke about. But I'm going to do the DR strat. I'm going to call it the DR strat because it is his strat. But pick a Tom Green, and then when he has his bye, just go shopping. Go look for someone that you missed out on. Like, how many times have you started off a SuperCoach season and gone, far out, I need to get this guy in my team. How do I do so? Well, particularly early on the season, Tom Green will have his bye, and I'll be able to make that call. Yes, whether it is a Josh Dunkley or who else was there again? Even like a Dawson or a Laird or Parrish, Steele. There's going to be players that I don't start with that might make me pay a little bit. So that's why that's a really nice luxury. But I really like all these picks here. I like Sarong over Brayshaw. I think Fife's going to push Brayshaw a little bit out of the mid. I think he'll play a little bit more wing. I don't think there's much upside in Andy at the moment. So I like Sarong there. I think he's the ultimate man there, in and under. He should be number one mid. So yeah, happy with this midfield. I don't know if it's going to change much. The only thing that might change now is either Parrish or Steele enters my team. But yeah, depends how sucked in we get over the Amy Community Series or whatever it is. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. Nick Martin, this is another reason I'm not starting Dan Houston. He was in my team for about a week and I loved it. But yeah, if you have Dan Houston here and then you got four defenders, you just absolutely send it in the back line. Well, what happens when Nick Martin gets DPP? What happens when I jump on Nick Dacos after his bye and then he gets DPP and then you go get Sicily? That's 7 defenders right there. I know you can keep one of them in the midfield, but it sort of gives away an extra midfield spot, which isn't ideal. So I'm a little bit worried going too aggressive in the back line too early. In saying that, though, I really like Dan Houston as a pick. He's someone that I'm just gutted that I don't have in my team, but it just doesn't really suit my structure, so I'm just going to go with the big guns. Yeah, Nick Martin, he'll definitely get DPP. He looked really good against the Saints. There was times where he looked like he could have been a little bit rattled, but still racked it up, still taking kick-outs, goes for the 1-2s. Yeah, definitely getting Dacos vibes off him. Not that I think he's going to be anything like Nick Dacos, but yeah, it's promising. I'm comparing Martin to Sheasel and Dacos at the moment, the way he's playing, so a lot of value, sub 500k, should have a good role, should score well, and will absolutely get DPP. So worst case scenario, he's just a D6. I don't even think he's going to be D6. I actually reckon he could be, a top 4 defender this year if he plays his cards right. But he looks really good. McKercher and Sanders, absolute guns. They did exactly what you would have thought in the match sim and carved it up. So not a worry whatsoever. Rookies, very stock standard. Huswaite's an interesting one, 184k on the bench. I've done that in 2 lines as well, you'll see. But that's got a lot to do with, when certain players get DPP, which I will explain. And then Gaundy in the ruck, and then I've gone Livingstone as well, I think he did actually play in the hit-out yesterday, but I want him as a loophole. I actually want a loophole this year because I just think there's going to be too many chances, and it's a handy one. I don't think we're going to get a proper R3. I think Sweet and Conway are just a little bit overs for what they could do. I don't really think they're necessarily in the bracket of great job security, if that makes sense. So I'm not really willing to go there. We'll have a look at this forward line, which I'm actually really, really happy with. But what you'll notice is if you stare at it for a long period of time, you'll be thinking, Spills, where's Harley? Harley Reid's been given the arse. I've dropped a player who is in over 70% of teams, probably the highest record of ownership in any Supercoach format ever. And I've dropped him. And oh, gee, did I have a proper chat with DR earlier today about it? I said to him, this might be a bit of a spoiler because DR is going to do a team update as well. But I said to DR, look, you might think I'm crazy, but I'm actually thinking of fading Harley Reid. And he's like, you know what, mate? I've given him the arse as well. So myself and DR are fading Harley Reid. No, I'll tell you why. So Harley Reid is 207k, right? And with him in the side, I've got Lazaro, Mana, and Sexton on the bench. So the reason I've got Huswaite and Lazaro there is so when DPP comes, I can push Sexton back, and I've got good rookie cover. I'm happy with that. And who would I rather field out of Harley Reid and Alex Sexton? Well, look, Harley's going to be a great talent. I mean, he looks superb, but didn't do a whole lot in the practice match. He's under a lot of adversity. He's number one draft pick, high expectation. I think he's going to be an absolute gun. But in terms of Supercoach, I don't think he's going to have that Harry Shears or Nick Dacos average that we sort of hope for. Even Matty Rowell, when he first come on, that number one draft pick, really good player. But I don't think it's curtains if you don't start him. And I'd be spewing if I got a 65 from Harley Reid at F5 or whatever, and then Sexton and Mana are scoring 80 plus on my bench because of that. Because I'm going with the flow like a sheep in the crowd, just following what everyone else is doing. Like Harley Reid, great job security. He will play. He's going to be an absolute talent of the future. And he could well and truly make me pay for not starting him. Hands down. I'm happy to cop that one on the chin. But Sexton off halfback, Mana playing probably, drifting forward, but CBA should be up playing for Geelong, who are sort of bleeding a little bit in the midfield. Mature Asia as well. Lazaro's looking like the Connor Rozier of North Melbourne in current form. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but he's looking really good as well. Absolutely electric. So I'd almost rather field all of these players than Harley Reid. But the only reason I had Harley Reid is because he's in so many sides. But why? Why is he so highly earned? I don't know. But he's not in my team at the moment, which is absolutely absurd. I can't believe I've done that. Come at me. This would probably be one of the only teams that doesn't have Dacos and Harley Reid. People must think I'm mad, but I do have my strategies around it. And I'm definitely more comfortable fielding Shaw Manor over Harley Reid every day of the week. So Alex Sexton, he's going to get DPP. So that's another reason I've gone really thin in defence, because after 6 weeks he can come in and cover. We've got really good buy cover, and then that's where your Lazaro types can come on field. And when Nick Martin gets DPP, he can go back, and then Huswaite can come on and field. So I'm not bleeding anywhere in the rookie department. I think I plan really well for that. And then when there's certain players that do have their buy, my cover is really good, because I'm expecting like Huswaite and Lazaro, as expensive as they are, I reckon they're going to be really good field options. So look, a little bit of method to this madness. I do like the point of difference, and push comes to shove, if Harley Reid is a must-have, I can trade him in. Like, there's no reason I can't go Harms down to Harley before the price if it's a real must-have. But honestly, I don't think he's a must-have. That's just my take on it. And myself and DR, we couldn't agree more with each other. So we've both given him the flick, and we'll see how it goes. I think we're going to cop a fair bit of flack for it, but look, fair enough. Wouldn't be any fun without a little bit of controversial in Supercoach. So why not? But this forward line, I like it. Flanders is a lock. Fife looks really good. I can't believe I'm saying that. He's been in my team for a while now. The reason I have Fife there is because, well, even if it does go bad, there's a lot of options below his price bracket. But I'm pretty confident with him now. Had a lot of handballs, but still scored really well. His work rate was good. He's running really well. CBAs are up. I think he's going to lift Freo this year. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to go back to his best, but he could almost be a keeper for us in that forward line, because it's bloody bleak. There's nothing available, so I'm happy with Nat Fife. Almost a must-have, I reckon, after that match sim. We'll have to see how he goes next week in the community series as well, but I'm feeling pretty confident with the pick. So, not getting cold feet on Fife as much as I thought I would. Harms looked really good. I think he passed the eye test. He should play every week, I reckon. Good job security. And at that price, why not? See what he can do. Jack Billings, I like him. Petrarca talked him up a lot on Dylan Friends. Many know about that one, saying, yeah, JB's improved, Jack Billings has improved his disposal and been a really nice accumulator inside 50, which we like. That's Track talking about him on the podcast. So I like that one too. So yeah, pretty happy with these guys. And then, yeah, Sexton off halfback, I've mentioned before, and Manor, a big sort of inside mid type player at Geelong. I think these are the two ideal rookies you want on field. I was watching George's, I guess, was it a team update last week or a practice match update, but he was saying you don't really want Manor on your field or on your bench just in case you get the Errol Goulden from a few years ago where he had 120 on your bench. So, yeah, I think Manor's one that could really make you pay if you don't field him. So, yeah, these two I'm very happy with, and yeah, Lazaro can come on and Wilson I'm not too sure about, but we can always go down to Darcy and Cadman, who I also like. But yeah, this is the team at the moment, and it's changed a lot. I've had Parrish, I've had Jack Steele. There's been a lot of players in this spot here in particular, and then yeah, whether I go Sarong down to Steele and then Williams up to Buderick and then do the same sort of strategy and then buy flip so I don't cop a mid-pricer buy. Better for total points, but not quite sure yet. We get a look at Buderick. If Buderick scores like 100 plus in round 0, I probably will go Sarong down to Steele and just risk it like that and then go Williams up, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I like this team for now. Very, very thin in the back line with the rookies, but yeah, DPP will take care of itself, and then you'll be able to flip it around. Yeah, you get Martin back, and yeah, I suppose you all get the gist of what I'm talking about here. McKercher should get DPP as well.